Okay, good evening. Again, this is Ron Type. Welcome to my stream. So, I guess you have seen the description. If you ever come across to this stream, so if anybody who can understand or speak or type in Japanese, well, welcome to the chat. But then again, I'll just do my usual test stream. And this is going to be a little personal. Okay. Okay, so in life, or better yet, in work, uh, um, I don't think there's anyone in their long career who hasn't made any mistake at work. Some minor, some major. So where am I going at? Well, I am not going to go there yet. So I'm going to share my experience. I am not sure if I have uh, mentioned this in the previous streams, uh, but still, this is related to how toxic the work environment is in Japan. Now, I am not sure if this is just limited to Japan or it's going to be like this in any workplace, maybe perhaps outside Japan as well. So, of course, there are minor mis in which there will be a typo, misspellings. Well, it can cause a major, but if it doesn't cause any misunderstanding, if the content is not compromised, then honestly, I think that would be forgiven. But misspell, as in adding another digits in quotations or quantities in the receipt, that may cause some trouble. Uh, I may have experienced that, so of course, I'll be I'll be in a bad mood then, and then so I can understand where some mistakes are coming from. But I feel that there are some mistakes that are really overblown in which this is a mistake that that must not be left out, and there must be a countermeasure. But I'll talk about that later. So first, I'll talk one of my experiences in Japan. Uh, during my stay in Japan where I work, they actually have a count on the number of days that no misses were made. So it was during my training period in which, of course, I am assigned an instructor. At first, instructor or the instructor role type office mate is very strict. So I get chewed out a lot. You can say that among the foreigners who work in Japan, I am very likely to be the most slacker of them all. As you can say, I would be the sole snowflake at work, and snow. I am considered the snowflake. Despite that, I believe I am doing well in other workplace. But either way, in Japan, I would be the one that you call a snowflake. So again, going back. So of course, there's a they do this they count the number of days sorry a number of days that no miss was made. So of course I during my stay at that workplace there were two occurrences. One is that one that during my training period, and another one is where I was about to quit 3 months later. So let's go to the first one. First one, so I'll try to summarize it, give as much detail as possible. So our work back then is to print receipts. So the receipts would contain information, confidential, and then of course the sendee, the one that the destination, and then the number of pages, and so there's and so I can only give that because of that those are the only important ones. I don't want to give anymore. So so the situation back then usually tasks there are done by pairs. One would be the one who performs the job, and then the one would be the strictly to check. And so I am as the instructor is teaching me on to elaborate further on how to do the printing since technically there are two of us, so I'll be the doer, and then he'll be the checker. So that usually accomplishes the conditions to do the work. So of course, we do the usual, and so and then of course long story short, there was a claim. So what is this big claim? The number of pages printed is wrong. So how did that number of pages issue came out? Um, well, because that time there will be some reprinting, and then due to and then on the reprinting, depending on how is it done on the depending on the some mistakes or some problem, a certain number of pages may be the only ones needed to be printed. So, for example, if you have a 200 pages and then some of them are some only few pages on in those 200 pages are problematic. So you have to reprint those few pages because well technically, to prevent mistakes, those the 200 pages can be reprinted, but well, let's just say that it's not economical to do so. So, for example, you have to print the few pages. So, if you print a few pages, of course, the number of the pages will change. And then, as you can see now, the few pages will be included into the original 200 pages or what's left of it. So as far as I can remember, the number of pages was wrong because the number of pages in the second print was the one reflected. I know, I am aware that in some cases this will have a critical impact. But from what I see, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be just a minor mistake. So it's just a matter of oh hi, hello. There's some conflict within the pages. Can I confirm? Yes. Is this correct? No. Is it the number of pages? Yes, thank you. Simple as that. But nope, not in Japan. So what happened back then? If there's such a mistake is made, there should be a foolproof countermeasure to do that. So as far as I can remember, the one of the countermeasures is that well, since the checker is the one who is training me, so technically the trainer and then the trainee should be treated as one. So what do I mean by that? So since the trainer and the trainee is treated as one, they cannot perform the task by themselves. So they need to have another one. So that's one countermeasure. And then of course there would be RCA for that, root cause analysis. I'm not sure how they did it, but long story short, it ended up doing extra work whenever that there are pages that needed to be reprinted. So so as far as so as I can remember, there's this form that needs to be filled if reprinting will occur. So for example, if there will be few pages and it is decided that the reprinting of the entire document will be fine, so it's just indicated in the form. Else, there will be conditions that need to be filled up in the form, and then the printing will be performed while looking at the form. So there's that. But the point is, even that small mistake, I considered a small. Uh, uh, I don't care what anybody says. That mistake at that time is very small. And yet, uh, I was supposed to be the one who is accountable since I'm the one who printed. But well, the trainee status saved me, so the heat goes to my instructor at that time. So that instructor, after completing a night shift, is not allowed to go home right away, and instead apologize the to various departments. As in formal apology, he has to physically go to those departments and then apologize. Yeah, usually for me those are the mistakes that supposed so those actions is supposed to be happened in for major mistakes. So so maybe I'll also well, since this is already kind of a rant, so maybe so might as well uh, mention my pet peeve around this. Basically, for the most part, Japan is a worshiper of Peter Drucker. I think you can look at the Peter Drucker. Uh, so I'm not sure if it is a law, a theory, or whatever, but so Drucker's theory or law or whatever says that major mistakes happen because of many minor mistakes happening. And so basically, since this is the case, minor mistakes must be eliminated as much as possible. Yeah, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt here. Uh, so as little as possible. So the more minor mistakes that gets eliminated, the lower the chances that major mistakes are made. And well, I think that is noble. I would understand the why, especially on the tasks that are on the life-threatening situations. But then I think, but a part of me thinks this is too much. So, so now what? This is too much. Why? Because well, humans are made makes mistakes. Uh, uh, I believe there will be no there will be I believe that there is no procedures or system in the world that are human error proof. So where am I going with this? So going to the previous mistake that I mentioned earlier, what if the same mistake happened? So that means the countermeasure ain't enough. So another countermeasure on top of it must be performed. And then what if the same mistake is made by uh, third, fourth, fifth? Because though granted, it's not going to be the same person, but it could be a different person or another person a few years later, and the mistake was made. So uh, it can't be helped. Might not be it, but it is what it is. So what I'm trying to say is that there will be a time that the countermeasures that will be done to mitigate the mistake will be more time consuming than the task itself. So of course that would be another motivation not to make another mistake. So now what? So I really don't like how some point is personally I don't really like how some mistakes are being blown up to proportions. Now, how does it lead to my situation now? So of course, at work, I made a typo. Basically, that's it. And I made the same typo 3 times. I'm not going to bring in further details for the fear of violating NDA. But seeing that the policy is well, just one mistake, and clearly it is three, and three grammatical errors the same, so it should be light. But considering out the client, I guess you can tell which country that the client is. I don't think it will end with just a slap in the wrist, even if I swear that I will not make any mistake again. And given the my experience earlier, I don't think it will just end with that way. I will need to make a formal countermeasure for that. But grammatical mistakes are always made. Even the journalists nowadays makes grammatical mistakes. Uh, they just get called out on it, but not at work. But then, as for me, I had to be called out. It had to be called out. I had to make RCA on it, root cause analysis, and that, and then this is uh, I might be thinking too much, but if if such typo is called out, so how much more if it's a grammatical error that's called out. And yeah, I may be speaking for myself, but it could be anybody. So what if they consider it a mistake? And then if and especially and then worse if a grammatical nazi. Now what you just say? Why are you making a big deal about this typo? Well, it's not really easy considering that that I made a typo on the third language, and I guess I know how that. I guess you know which language it is. And well, I could understand it's a manual, but I can hardly imagine that anybody who will read the manual will misunderstand it with just a typo, with such typo. But of course, I would understand that may need to be called out, but considering the company policy, mm, it needs to be treated as high impact. And now, I don't know what will happen to me in the next days. This is something that, since this is a mistake that only I can make, and I can make, and I have no one else to, well, not shift the blame, because obviously I am the only one who does it. I don't have any checker or proofreader, so it all rests on me. So the root cause analysis, it rests on me. I will have to decide. It will rest on me. Problem is, this may be a precedent, not president the leader, but precedent. I'm not sure if uh, if I pronounce that correctly. Like I said, what if it will not be limited to just typo? They might go with the grammar itself, because honestly, I got corrected with the grammar or usage. And of course, for this mistake not to happen further, well, it needs to be spread to the entire company. So what if that happens? What if the grammar Nazi gets some, if the grammatical mistakes is now treated as a major one, because well, Granted, I'm not really that good at grammar, but honestly nowadays, as long as the context is understandable, the grammar doesn't usually matter. But well, since this is a work, it might matter a lot. And you know the client, uh, they treat such small mistakes as a very critical. So, how do I take care of it? What the heck? So whatever may come, it happens. I'll have to cope with it. So at least if I am able to overcome this during my job search, I can proudly say that I encountered this downside, and this is how I cope with it. For now, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm not down about it, but of course, this is one of those times in which, well, I have to deal with it one way or another. So that is just a rant. So maybe if you come across with this tree and you happen to want to work in Japan, these are just one of the things that you may encounter at the workplace. So you'll have to think twice. Um, you may be saying I'm just fear mongering. For me, I'm just saying it is what it is. So I guess this will be the end of my stream. Uh, for those who were able to see this stream, thank you for joining. But before I end this, please subscribe to Ruby King. He's already past 500 subscribers. Uh, at least try to take a peek at his content as well as a Raging Golden Eagle and I guess a young Ripa. Then you may eventually learn about the Ripaverse. And if you are a little interested in Japanese or Japan in general, there are many Japanese YouTubers out there, but I think you can start with the Sword the Troll. Maybe you can subscribe. I was supposed to do the stream about one of his streams, but well, given the situation I am in, I'm not really in a mood. Hopefully, the mood will be cleared before this week ends. So well, until then, thank you for joining. Bye. See you later or next week. Again, bye.